Yes, it seems to be because the reaction from the market has been extremely muted overnight. And I think this is basically showing that really people don't know what the next steps are because the geopolitical risks are so high. The market obviously has reacted very strongly to the immediate news with a 20% jump, then paring back some of the gains. Some of those gains have been given back again today. But now the market seems to be a little bit paralyzed by, you know, the multitude of options that are available to it going forward. And of course, you know, you have very mixed messages coming from the White House, first saying they're locked and loaded. Now they're giving something of a dovish approach, saying that they don't want war. Obviously, this is not what he's looking to pursue. The firing of Michael Bolton on last week was already an indication that they may be taking a more positive approach towards Iran. So I think there is a little bit of a paralysis in the market right now in terms of what is the next steps. I think first we really need to know is what is the damage and how long is the crude going to be out of the market? That's what the market really wants to know.
Richard, let me just pull out one of those messages in your commentary there from the hawk to dove type of stand we saw from the US president, from locked and loaded to no rush for a response. How unusual is it to have these types of mixed messages from the White House, and how does that complicate some form of retaliatory strategy that the market might be waiting for?
Yeah, well, I mean, clearly you don't need me to tell you that this is a quite unique White House. The administration is guided very much by the president, who is changing his opinion from tweet to tweet. So, I mean, this is clearly something that the oil market has not had to deal with before. We had very much in the past, you know, we had two divisions, the hawks and the doves, and we clearly knew who was which. Today, because we don't have those signals, it's very difficult to judge what will happen next.
Richard, I want to get into the price action because lots of questions initially about how recessionary any spike in the oil price could be, and some commentators pointing out, well, in previous recessions you had a 90% spike in the oil price. This time round, but we had about 9 to 10%, a little bit more in the trading session, then we settled back a little bit lower than that. We are far off a 90% handle. What do you make of the potential for an escalation here, and what sort of triggers we would need to see this time round for a recession?
Well, I mean, we were before the weekend's attacks, we were very much, you know, on the lower side of the demand forecasting in terms of economic performance next year. I mean, we have been anyway for a year, so that was not news to our clients. Of course, high oil prices are going to cause problems for the economy. You're going to see particularly developed economies struggle when oil prices are high. I would say, however, that the muted response so far is not that significant. I mean, prices at $68, it is not really reflecting the geopolitical risk that is on the table. So I think we would need probably further moves up before we could really worry about the recessionary effects of it. I think $68 oil is of course worse than $60 oil, but not significantly so that it would push us, it would push our economic outlook into recession.
Richard, just as we wrap up with you, could we get a final thought on what this now means for Aramco and the IPO timing?
Yeah, well, it's not good news. Obviously, you know, we know that Saudi Aramco was going to list in Saudi Arabia in a domestic IPO. Obviously, their biggest asset right now is offline, so it would seem that this is not going to be on track. Yeah, I mean, I think it would be difficult to go to IPO right now. Of course, we may hear from the minister later in the day that the damage is less significant than we thought, and that they can get these units back online fairly quickly. However, of course, there's still the psychological impact of what happens if there is another attack on the facilities.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.